Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to start off with my Smashbox Primer Water, and I'm just going to spray that all over my face. And this is just going to keep my face hydrated as well as give me a really good base for foundation. And then I'm just using my Age Rewind Maybelline Concealer as a base for my eyeshadows. I always use concealer as bases because I just like that it gives me a nice smooth canvas and it just cancels out any of the veins that I have on my eyelids, any redness, any discoloration at all. So I always use a concealer, and I'm just blending it out with a synthetic fluffy blending brush, but you could always use your fingers as well. And now I'm going to go in with one of my absolute favorite palettes of all time. This is the Kat Von D Shade and Light Eye Contour palette, and I'm using all the warm tones. And the first color that I'm going to use is the base eyeshadow, and that's the very large one on the very top. It is a very beautiful apricot type of color, and I'm just going to use a large blending brush and I'm going to work that in the crease. So I'm just going to go back and forth, making sure that it's nicely blended out and that everything is really smooth. So I'm just going from outer crease all the way in towards the inner crease. And then I'm going to switch off to an E25 brush from Sigma, and I'm using this very beautiful brown that has a lot of red undertones in it. I really love this color because when you blend it out, it almost looks like a burgundy shade. And so I'm just gonna put that on the outer crease and then also work that into the crease like I did the eyeshadow before. So I'm going to go from the outer corner all the way towards the inner corner of my crease, but mainly focusing the color on the outer part of my lid. And now I'm going to go in with the chocolate brown. It's like a true chocolate brown tone, and I'm just going to place that only on the outer lid and then softly blending it in towards the crease, but mostly all the color on the outer lid portion of my eye. And I'm using the same brush. This is the Sigma E25. I really love this brush for the crease. It just fits so perfectly in my crease area. And now I'm taking a foiled eyeshadow from Geek. This one is in the color Showtime. It's a beautiful burgundy cranberry type of eyeshadow, and I'm just going to use my finger to pat that on the lid. And then I just took a flat eyeshadow brush just to blend everything out and just to make sure that everything has a nice gradient to it. I don't want you to be able to see exactly where I placed the Showtime. I want it to blend in very nicely. And then I'm taking another Geek foiled eyeshadow. This one is in the color Grandstand, and I'm just going to place that on the inner lid area of my eye. And this is just going to brighten up the look a little bit so it's not entirely all dark. And I just love this color. I think it's so beautiful. It has a nice peach undertone to it, which I think looks really good for this color combination. And I'm just using a flat eyeshadow brush for this just to really pack it in there and blend it out. And now I'm going to move on to my face. I'm using my Master Prime by Maybelline. This one is in the color Blur and Illuminate. And I'm just going to apply this all over to my face. And when I filmed this tutorial, this product was still very new to me, so I kind of just applied it everywhere like a normal primer, but this stuff really works. So it will make your skin glow. And now I'm going to put this Pillow and Plump onto my lips. This is by Soap and Glory, and this is supposed to plump up your lips. It's one of those glosses that makes your lips very tingly, and it's supposed to make them 3 times larger. And then I'm just going to go in with my foundation. I'm using the Kat Von D Lock-It Tattoo Foundation in Light 48, and I'm just using my 3D HD Kabuki brush by Sigma for this. And I'm just going to blend that all over my face. And this is a very high coverage foundation, but it is lightweight, so I really love this for whenever I really want that super flawless look. And then I'm going to go ahead and highlight my face as well. I don't ever put foundation right here underneath my eyes because I always go with concealer in this area, so I don't like to double up on products if it's not necessary. And then I'm just going to put a little bit down the bridge of my nose and on the forehead. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in number 10. I believe that's the lightest shade. And then I'm just going to blend it out with a Sigma F86 brush, and then I just like to pat it and kind of blend it out, and then I always kind of clean up that outside eyeshadow area, and then whatever is left on the brush I am just going to highlight around the side of my mouth. And then I'm going to contour and set the highlight with this Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, and I'm using the really yellow toned powder in the center of the palette, and I'm just going to pat that underneath my eyes. That's just going to set the concealer as well as give me a little bit more of a highlight. And then I'm just going to set all the concealer around my nose as well. And now I'm going to work on my eyebrows. I know I kind of jump around all over my face, and I'm using my Pixi Natural Brow Duo in Deep Brunette. And I'm just filling in my brows. If you guys are interested in seeing a brow tutorial on how I use this product, I can go ahead and film that as a separate video. Just comment below if you're interested in that, because I really love this product. Ever since I've gotten it, I've only used that, and it kind of just knocked my Anastasia DIPBROW right out of the saddle because I just love it so much. It's so much easier. And now I'm going to move on to my eyeliner. I'm using my Geek gel liner in Immortal, and I am using the Sigma E06 eyeliner brush for this, and I'm just going to create a very nice winged eyeliner. That's usually what I do. For my shape eyes, I really like eyeliner because it just kind of makes them a little bit more almond shaped, because sometimes my eyes can kind of come off as very round, and I kind of like that more feline shape to the eye. So I always do eyeliner. If you don't like eyeliner, you definitely could just skip this part and go straight onto lashes. But I just really like the look of eyeliner, so I always do this part. And to give my eyeliner a more matte finish, I'm using the NYC Liquid Liner. This dries completely matte, so I just kind of go over it. Go over my gel liner with this just so that it is matte. You can definitely skip this part if you don't mind your eyeliner having like a kind of a sheen finish, but I like it to be very matte, so I always go over it with the NYC Liquid Liner. And now I'm just going to make sure that I don't have any excess powder underneath my eyes and kind of dust that off, make sure that it is nice and clean. And then I'm going to go on with the contour. This is from the same Kat Von D Shade and Light contour palette, and I'm just using the shade in the center. It is a very warm brown, and I'm just going to place that in the hollows of the cheeks, basically all the areas that I usually contour. And I also put a little bit on the forehead just to warm up that area, just to kind of bring the whole look together. You don't want your cheeks to be very bronzed and have a lot of color to them, and then your forehead is just stark white. So just want to get everything looking cohesive. And then I'm going to go in with my highlight. This is by Laura Geller, and it is in the color French Vanilla, and I'm just using a Sonia Kashuk multi-fiber brush. This is the white handle, and I'm just going to apply that to the very tops of my cheekbones. And I really like using this brush as opposed to another brush because it just gets it very soft and smooth on the cheekbone. And then for blush, I'm using my Makeup Geek blush in the color Bliss, which is a beautiful color. Just look at how gorgeous that is. Are you kidding me? And I've had it forever, and I just started using it, and it is so pretty. It has that peach, but it has a slight pink in it as well, so that's what I really love about it. And now I'm just going to go in with some mascara before I apply my false lashes, and I'm just using the YSL mascara. And then I'm going to go ahead and just work on the lower lash line. I'm using This is a Soho brush. It doesn't have a number or anything, but you just want something that's flat that you can really get into the lower lash line with. And I'm just really packing in that Kat Von D brown with lots of red in it right at the lower lash line, and then I'm just going to go in with my Real Techniques brush to really blend it out and make it very, very soft. And this brush is a synthetic brush, so I think that it really blends it out, and it's tiny enough to still keep it nice and tight and clean under there. And then I'm going to go in with the color Grandstand, and I'm just going to place that on the inner corners of the eye, just really pack it in there, just to brighten up, and again to give me that more of an almond shaped eye instead of something very round. And then the lashes the lashes that I'm going to use are these blinking Beaute lashes in number 1. They are absolutely beautiful. They're very wispy and very soft and still give you that really nice dramatic look. And I use my House of Lashes glue for this. And like I said before, I kind of have a hate and love relationship with that glue because it works really well, but it stays tacky and it's very hard to remove. But it is a really good lash adhesive because you don't really have to wait so long for it to get tacky. And then I am just going to put a generous amount of mascara on the lower lashes. And this is the YSL mascara. And I just really want to coat those and make them really long and thick. And then I'm going to take off this lip plumper, and honestly, to me, it didn't do anything at all. So yeah, don't buy that because it didn't really do anything. It's supposed to plumpen up your lips 3 times the size, and to me, it didn't do anything. And it was $14, you guys, so don't buy that, please. Just save your money because you can see for yourself that my lips look the same. So now I'm going to go in with this color that I have been wanting forever. It is the Anastasia liquid lipstick in Pure Hollywood. I am in love. It is my favorite nude lipstick. I cannot get enough of it. I use it all the time. And I'm just going to use that as the lip color, and it is so beautiful. Do you see how gorgeous that color is? And then I'm just going to set everything with my Infallible setting spray by L'Oreal. And that is basically it. That is the completed look. I hope you guys enjoyed this makeup tutorial, and I hope you liked this very warm burgundy cranberry eyeshadow look. It is one of my favorites. I love this color. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I will see you in my next makeup tutorial.